I hid behind a big tree, watching my own funeral. It was weird, like watching a movie about myself. The air smelled wet, like it might rain, and my heart was beating so loud I was scared someone would hear it. There was a shiny wooden box with white roses on it, but nobody there knew I loved those flowers. They were all crying or acting like they were, with faces that made my tummy hurt. My husband Tom stood up front, looking sad in a fancy new suit. My best friend Lila held a tissue, her eyes all smudgy like she'd drawn on her face. Sister Rachel stood super still, but her eyes kept looking around, like she was checking who came. I wasn't supposed to be there. Everyone thought I was gone forever. That was my plan, to pretend I was gone, hide and see who really cared about me. I wanted to know if anyone loved me. But watching them, hiding in a big hoodie and sunglasses, I felt my heart break into tiny bits. Tom's hand stayed on Lila's shoulder too long. Rachel's mouth smiled a little when she thought no one saw. And people were whispering things like, "What a sad thing," but their eyes looked happy, like they wanted something I had. I wanted to run out and shout, "I'm not gone. I'm right here." But I stayed quiet, my hands shaking. Their tears weren't real. They looked glad. And that's when I knew pretending to be gone was a big mistake. A scary, awful mistake. Could I fix it? I wasn't sure. Before we proceed, could you quickly let me know in the comment which city or country are you watching from? And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more real-life stories. Let me tell you how this started. A month ago, I was just Vanessa, a lady who smiled even when I felt sad. I made dinner for Tom, even when he came home late and smelled like someone else's perfume. I laughed with Lila even when her words hurt my feelings. I sent Rachel birthday cards even though she never called me. I felt like nobody saw me, like I was a ghost. When I was little, I wanted to paint pictures. I'd sit in my room, making colorful art, dreaming of a world where people noticed me. But life can be hard. I married Tom when I was young, thinking he was my hero. He used to smile and make me happy. But now, he didn't look at me or talk to me much. I'd see him texting at night, and when I asked who it was, he'd say, "Nobody. Vanessa, go to bed." Lila was my best friend since we were kids. We used to share secrets and eat ice cream. But now she was different. She'd take my clothes and not give them back. She'd say things like, "You should make Tom happier," with a sneaky smile. It made me feel bad, like I wasn't good enough. Rachel, my big sister, was supposed to take care of me. But after our parents passed away, she stopped being nice to me. She only called when she wanted money or help, and I always said yes, hoping she'd like me again. But she didn't. I felt so alone. One night, after Tom got mad about dinner and Lila canceled our plans, I cried on the kitchen floor. Thought, what if I wasn't here? Would they care? That's when I got the idea to pretend I was gone. I'd fake it, hide, and see who cried for me. It was a wild idea, but I needed to know if I mattered. Making the plan was hard. I spent weeks sneaking around finding a man online who could make fake papers. He gave me a paper that said I was gone and helped me plan a pretend car crash. I'd push my car into a ditch and make it look like it burned up. Nobody would know. I was still here. But I was so sad, I didn't care anymore. The night before, I looked at Tom while he slept. He looked so calm, like nothing was wrong. I wondered if he'd miss me. I wrote letters to him, Lila, and Rachel, saying how much I loved them and how sad I was. I hid the letters in a drawer, hoping they'd find them later and understand me. Then I packed a small bag and left. The pretend crash went just like I planned. I pushed my car into a ditch and set it on fire. I watched it burn, feeling like my old life was gone too. I took a bus to a little town, stayed in a cheap motel with a fake name, and waited. I thought I'd feel strong, but I just felt scared. What if nobody cared? Days went by and I saw my face on TV. "Woman gone in sad crash," the news said. They showed my wedding picture where I looked so happy. I waited for people to cry or look for me, but they didn't. Tom was on TV saying she was great. We'll miss her. But he sounded like he was reading a script. Who was we? Had to see for myself. So I went back, dressed in my disguise, to watch my funeral. That's when I saw the truth. Tom and Lila stood too close, their hands touching. Rachel was talking about taking my house. Some neighbors whispered about my money. Everyone was moving on like I was never important. Asterisk hiding by the tree, my heart hurt so much. I thought I'd be mad, but I was just sad. They didn't love me. Maybe they never did. My test worked, but it showed me something awful nobody cared. Then, as everyone left, I saw something that made me freeze. Lila took my favorite blue scarf, the one I wore last, out of her bag and put it on, smiling like it belonged to her. My scarf, my life. I wanted to run out and yell, but I couldn't move. I realized I wasn't just gone to them. I was nothing. Now I had to choose, go back and fight for a life that didn't want me, or stay hidden forever. What had I done? Well, I stood behind that big tree, staring at my blue scarf around Lila's neck. She smiled like she'd taken something special from me, like it was hers now. My heart felt like a broken toy, all cracked and sad. I wanted to run out, yell, and grab my scarf back. But my feet felt glued to the ground, and my voice wouldn't come out. I was like a ghost, watching everyone act like I was gone forever. The worst part? They looked happy about it. What had I done? What was I going to do now? I snuck away from the funeral, my sneakers quiet on the grass. My heart was thumping loud. I went back to my motel, a tiny room with a bumpy bed and a noisy TV. I locked the door, closed the curtains, and sat on the floor, hugging my knees. I thought pretending to be gone would show me who loved me, but it showed me something awful. Nobody did. Tom touching Lila's arm. Rachel wanting my house. Lila wearing my scarf like a trophy. They weren't sad. They were glad I was gone. I felt so alone, like a lost puppy nobody wanted. But I couldn't just stay there. Had to know more. I decided to keep hiding, like a spy, to see what they'd do next. Maybe someone would miss me. Maybe I'd find a reason to go back. Or maybe I'd learn to let go of a life that didn't care about me. I went to my house first, thinking it would feel like home. But when I got there, my heart hurt. Rachel's car was in the driveway. My sister was already moving into my house, even though I'd only been gone for a few days. I hid behind a bush across the street, watching. Rachel came out carrying a box of my stuff, my books, my little glass birds, things I loved. She threw them in the trash like they were junk. I wanted to shout, "Those are mine," but I bit my lip hard to stay quiet. Then I saw her go back, inside, laughing on the phone. Laughing, like my house was her new toy. My eyes got watery, but I wiped them fast. I couldn't cry yet. When it got dark, I crept closer. The kitchen window was open a tiny bit, and I heard Rachel talking. "This house is mine now," she said. "No more Vanessa, no more trouble." My heart stopped. Trouble? Was I trouble? I listened more, and she said, "Tom's coming over. We need to talk about the money." Money? My money? Hey. I felt sick. Like I ate something bad. I ran back to my hiding spot, my head full of questions, Rachel and Tom talking about money. Were they planning something sneaky even before I died? I thought of Tom at the funeral, his fake sad face, his hand on Lila's shoulder. Was he working with Rachel? Had to find out. I felt like a scared kitten hiding in the dark, my breath shaky. My fake death was supposed to show me who loved me. But now it felt like I'd opened a box of secrets scarier than any monster. I peeked around the tree, my eyes wide, trying to see inside my house. The kitchen light glowed, and Rachel was still there, talking on the phone, laughing like she didn't have a care. My heart hurt, like someone had stepped on it. Rachel, my sister, was in my house, acting like it was hers. And Tom, my husband, was coming to talk about my money. With Lila, my best friend, wearing my clothes. It was like they were all playing a mean game and I was the one losing. I wanted to run inside and yell, "I'm here. Stop it." But my legs felt heavy, like they were stuck in mud, and my voice was gone, lost in sadness. Then I heard a car pull up out front. My heart jumped. Was it Tom? I ducked lower, my hands shaking. I needed to know what they were saying, but I was so scared. What if they saw me? What if they knew I wasn't really gone? The front door opened, and I heard Tom's voice, loud and happy. "Hey, Rachel, where's Lila?" He said like he was at a party. My chest ached, like someone was squeezing it. I crept closer to the house, my sneakers quiet on the grass, and peeked through the kitchen window. Tom was there, hugging Rachel like they were best friends. Lila came in, wearing my favorite dress, twirling like she was a princess. My heart broke like a favorite toy dropped on the floor. They were all smiling, passing a bottle of juice, clinking glasses like they were celebrating. Celebrating what? Me being gone. I listened harder, my ear close to the window's crack. Rachel said the insurance guy is coming tomorrow. He says the money's almost ours. Insurance guy? My money. Tom nodded, his smile big. Good. Once we get it, we're set. No more Vanessa, no more worries. No more worries. Was I a worry? Tears stung my eyes, but I blinked them away. Lila giggled, saying, "I'm keeping her closet." She had some nice stuff. My stuff. I wanted to scream, but my mouth wouldn't work. They were taking everything, my house, my clothes, my money, and they were happy about it. Then Tom said something that made my blood freeze. "We just need to make sure nobody asks questions about the crash. It has to stay perfect. Perfect. My fake crash." Did they know something? My tummy felt sick, like I'd eaten bad candy. Were they guessing I wasn't gone? Or were they hiding something even bigger? I couldn't stay. There it was too risky. I ran back to the tree, my heart racing like a runaway bike. I had to know more, but I was so scared. I waited until I heard their voices fade, then snuck back to the bus stop, clutching my folder of papers. Back at my motel, I locked the door and spread the papers on the bed. They were full of big words, but I saw my name, deceased, and numbers, huge numbers. My life insurance, my savings. And names, Tom, Lila, Rachel, and someone called Mr. Carter. Was he the insurance guy? My eyes watered and I felt like I was drowning in sadness. They were stealing my whole life and they didn't even care. I thought of all the times I'd tried to make them happy. I made Tom's favorite snacks, even when he was grumpy. I shared my clothes with Lila, even when she made fun of me. I gave Rachel money for her bills, hoping she'd love me again. But they didn't love me. They loved my money. And now they thought I was gone, so they were taking it all. I needed to know about this, Mr. Carter. The next day, I put on my disguise big hat, sunglasses, plain clothes, and went to the library. Nobody would notice me there. I used the computer, my fingers shaky, and searched Carter Insurance with my town's name. A website came up for Carter Financial Services with a picture of a man in a shiny suit. His smile was fake, like a bad guy in a movie. Said he helped people get insurance money fast. Fast? I'd only been gone a week. How did they know him so quick? I kept looking, my heart thumping. I found a news story about Mr. Carter. It said he'd been in trouble for sneaky deals, helping people get money they shouldn't. My tummy hurt worse, like I'd been punched. Were Tom, Lila, and Rachel working with him before I died? Did they want me gone so they could get rich? The thought made my eyes sting, like I was losing my family all over again. I kept watching them, like a spy in a sad story. I followed Tom to his work, hiding. He was on the phone laughing, saying, "It's all going to plan." Plan? What plan? I followed Lila to the store where she bought a shiny necklace with my credit card. She was using my money, smiling like it was hers. I followed Rachel to a fancy restaurant where she met a man in a suit, Mr. Carter. They clinked glasses talking about the big payout. It's my payout. My money. Every day I saw more of their lies. Lila wore my favorite jacket, acting like she was me. Tom sold my favorite chair, the one I loved to read in. Rachel changed my house, hanging ugly pictures I'd never pick. They were erasing me like I was a drawing they didn't like anymore. That night, I sat in my motel room staring at the papers. I felt so tired, like I'd been carrying a heavy rock forever. I thought about my old life painting pictures, giggling with Lila, hugging Rachel, loving Tom. That life was gone, burned up in my fake crash. I wanted to go back, to make them see me. But what if they didn't care? What if they got mad? Then I heard a noise outside, a car door slamming, footsteps crunching on gravel. My heart stopped. I peeked out the window, my hands shaking. A shadow stood outside my door, tall and dark. Nobody knew I was here. Nobody knew I was alive. But someone was there, and they didn't knock. They just stood there, quiet, like they were waiting for something. My breath caught, and I backed away, my eyes wide. Who was it? Did they know I was alive? And if they did, what were they going to do to me now? My heart pounded like a drum as I backed away from the motel window, my eyes glued to the tall, dark shadow standing outside my door. The gravel crunched under their feet, but they didn't knock. They just stood there, quiet, like a monster, waiting to pounce. My hands shook, clutching the folder of papers I'd stolen, proof that Tom, Lila, and Rachel were taking my money with that sneaky Mr. Carter. My tummy felt like it was full of wiggly worms. Who was out there? Did they know? My secret? I felt like a scared mouse trapped in a corner, wondering if my fake death had led someone right to me. What did they want? And what would happen if they found me? I tiptoed to the door, my breath so fast it hurt. I peeked through the tiny hole in the door, but it was too dark to see clearly, just a shape, tall and still. My legs wobbled like jelly, and I wanted to hide under the bed, but I was too scared to move. Then the shadow shifted, and I heard a low voice, not loud enough to understand. Were they talking to someone? My heart raced faster. I grabbed my bag, ready to run out the back window if I had to. But before I could decide, the shadow turned and walked away, their footsteps fading into the night. My knees gave out, and I sank to the floor, tears spilling down my cheeks. I was safe for now, but who was that? And why were they here? Didn't sleep that night. I sat on the lumpy bed, hugging my knees, the folder of papers next to me. My mind was spinning with questions. Is that shadow Mr. Carter? Checking to make sure I was really gone? Or someone Tom, Lila, and Rachel sent to find me? I thought of what I'd heard at my house, Rachel saying Tom was coming to talk about money. Lila wearing my dress, Tom saying, "No more Vanessa, no more worries." My heart hurt like it was breaking all over again. They were stealing my life. And now, someone was snooping around my motel. I felt like a puzzle piece that didn't fit anywhere anymore. The next morning, I put on my disguise, big hat, sunglasses, boring clothes, and checked the window. Nobody was there. The gravel outside looked normal, but I saw something shiny near the door. I opened it just a crack, my heart thumping, and picked it up. It was a small keychain shaped like a star with the letter J on it. I'd never seen it before. Did the shadow drop it? Who was J? My tummy twisted again. I stuffed the keychain in my pocket and ran to the bus stop, my head full of fear and questions. I went back to my house, even though it scared me. I had to know more. I hid behind the same tree in the backyard, watching. Rachel's car was gone, but Tom's was there. I crept closer, peeking through the kitchen window. Tom and Leela were inside, sitting at my table, looking at papers. Leela was wearing my favorite necklace now, the one Tom gave me when we got married. My chest ached, like someone had punched it. Tom said, "Carter says the money's coming tomorrow. We just need to sign one more thing." Lila smiled, touching his arm. Then we're free, Tom. Just like we wanted. Free from me. Tears stung my eyes, but I blinked them away. I waited until they left, then snuck inside again. The spare key was still under the flower pot, and my hands shook as I opened the back door. The house smelled like Lila's perfume now, not mine. My paintings were gone, replaced by Rachel's ugly pictures. My cozy blankets were stuffed in a corner. It was like I'd never lived here. I went to the living room where they'd left some papers on the table. My heart raced as I picked them up. They were forms, with my name and deceased written all over. There was a letter from Mr. Carter saying the insurance money was ready to be picked up. I stuffed the papers in my bag, my eyes blurry. With tears, they were really doing this. They were taking everything. I heard a car outside and froze. I ran to the window and saw a shiny black car pull up. Mr. Carter got out, his suit gleaming in the sun. My heart stopped. I couldn't let him see me. I dove behind the couch, my breath shaky. He came inside, calling Tom. Lila, you here? Nobody answered. He walked around, his shoes loud on the floor. I held my breath, praying he wouldn't. Look behind the couch. Then he stopped right by the table and picked up a paper. Sloppy, he muttered. They need to be more careful. My tummy flipped. Careful about what? Me. Did he know I was alive? I stayed still, my heart pounding like a drum. Then he said something into his phone, low and sneaky. Yeah, I found something at the crash site. A piece of cloth. I think she's still out there. My cloth? For my jacket. My blood went cold. He was talking about me. He knew I wasn't gone. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. Mr. Carter left, slamming the door, and I let out a shaky breath. I had to get out of there. I ran back to the motel, my head spinning. Mr. Carter knew I was alive, or at least he suspected it. Shadow last night, was it him or someone else? I locked the door and pulled out the star keychain, staring at the J. Who was Jay? Was it a clue? My heart hurt, and I felt so alone, like a lost toy nobody wanted. I thought of my old life painting pictures, laughing with Lila, loving Tom, hugging Rachel. That life was gone, burned up in my fake crash. I wanted to go back to make them see me, but what if they found me first? What if Mr. Carter was looking for me to make sure I stayed gone? I kept spying, even though it scared me. I followed Lila to the park where she met Tom. They were laughing, holding hands like I'd never existed. I followed Rachel too. A bank where she went in with Mr. Carter carrying more papers. My papers, my money, every day. I saw more of their lies. Leela wore my earrings. Tom sold my favorite lamp. Rachel painted my bedroom a color I hated. They were erasing me, like I was a mistake they wanted to forget. That night, I sat on my motel bed, the stolen papers spread out. I felt so tired, like I'd been running forever. I wanted to give up, to disappear, for real. But then I found something in the papers, a name I didn't expect. J. Monroe. It was written in tiny letters on a note about the crash site. My heart jumped, J, like the keychain. Was this the shadow from last night? I looked at the keychain again, my hand shaking. Was J. Monroe helping them? Or was he someone else, someone who knew I was alive? Then I heard a noise outside, a soft tap on my window. My heart stopped. I peeked out, and there was a new shadow, smaller this time, holding something shiny. A key, a knife. I backed away. My breath fast, my eyes wide. The tapping got louder, and a voice whispered, "Vanessa, I know you're there." My blood froze. They'd found me. But who was it? And what did they want to do to me now? The whisper outside my motel window cut through the dark like a knife. "Vanessa, I know you're there." My heart stopped, frozen like ice in my chest. The shadow held something shiny, glinting under the streetlight. A key, a knife. My breath came fast, like I was running, but my feet were stuck to the floor. I clutched the star keychain with the J and the stolen papers, my hands shaking like leaves in a storm. Nobody knew I was alive. Nobody knew I was hiding in this dingy motel watching Tom, Leela, and Rachel steal my life with that sneaky Mr. Carter. But someone was here tapping on my window, calling my name. My tummy twisted with fear like a knot I couldn't untie. Mr. Carter come to make sure I stayed gone. Or J. Monroe, the name from the papers. Who was out there, and what did they want with me now? I backed away, my eyes wide, my heart thumping like a drum. The tapping stopped, but the shadow didn't move. I ducked behind the bed, my breath shaky, praying they'd go away. Then I heard a soft click, like a key in the lock. My door. They were trying to get in. I grabbed my bag, ready to climb out the bathroom window, but my legs felt like jelly. The door creaked open, and a voice said, "Vanessa, it's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." It was a man's voice, calm but firm, not like Mr. Carter's sneaky tone. My heart raced. Was this J. Monroe? I peeked over the bed, my eyes blurry with tears, and saw a man in a dark jacket, holding this shiny thing, a keychain, just like mine, with a star and a J. "I'm Jake Monroe," he said, staying by the door, like he knew I was scared. "I'm a private investigator. I know you're alive, and I know what they're doing." My breath caught. He knew how. I held up my keychain, my voice tiny. "Did you drop this?" He nodded, his face serious. "I left it for you. I've been watching you, Vanessa. You're not as invisible as you think." My heart hurt, like it was breaking and hoping. At the same time, someone saw me. But why? And could I trust him? Jake sat on the chair far from me, his hands up like he was saying, "I'm safe." I stayed behind the bed, clutching my papers, my eyes on the door. "Who sent you?" I asked, my voice shaky. Jake sighed. "Your old neighbor, Mrs. Ellis. She didn't believe you were gone. She saw you at the funeral in your disguise. She hired me to find you, Mrs. Ellis. It's a sweet old lady who gave me cookies." My eyes stung. Someone cared. Someone noticed me. Jake kept talking, his voice soft. "They've been following Tom, Lila, and Rachel. They're working with Carter, too. Take your insurance money. But it's worse, Vanessa. They planned it before your crash, before my heart stopped." "What do you mean?" I whispered. Jake leaned forward, his eyes sad. "They were talking about your money months ago. Carter's been helping them. They wanted you out of the way. My head spun like I was falling. Did they want me gone for real? Not just fake? I pulled out my papers, my hands shaking. "I found these," I said. "They're stealing my money." Jake nodded, looking at the folder. "That's proof. But there's more. Carter found a piece of your jacket at the crash site. He's suspicious. He's looking for you." My tummy flipped. Mr. Carter knew I was alive. That's why he said, "Make sure nobody asks questions." They were scared I'd come back. Jake gave me a small notebook from his pocket. "Read this," he said. My fingers trembled as I opened it. It was full of notes, dates, times, things, Tom, Lila, and Rachel. Said one page made my heart break. "Tom to Carter 3 months ago. If Vanessa's gone, we get it all." 3 months ago. I was still cooking Tom's dinners then, still hoping he'd love me. Tears fell on the notebook, smudging the ink. They didn't just betray me. They planned it. My husband, my best friend, my sister, they wanted me gone. I looked at Jake, my voice small. "What do I do?" He sighed. "You have 2 choices. Show yourself, use these papers to stop them, and take your life back. Or disappear for real, start over somewhere new. But if you stay hidden, they'll keep looking. Carter's dangerous, dangerous." My heart raced. I thought of my old life painting pictures, laughing with Lila, loving Tom. That life was a lie. But could I start over? Or should I fight? I spent the day with Jake, hiding in the motel, reading his notes. Every page hurt more. Lila had been texting Tom for years, calling me boring. Rachel had been meeting Carter, planning to sell my house. They weren't just stealing my money, they were stealing my whole world. I cried until my eyes hurt, feeling like a broken toy nobody wanted. But Jake's words stuck with me. You're not invisible. For the first time in forever, someone saw me. It gave me a tiny spark of hope, like a candle in the dark. That night, Jake helped me make a plan. We can go to the police, he said. Show them the papers. Tell them you're alive. They'll stop Carter and the others. My tummy twisted. What if the police didn't believe me? What if Tom, Lila, and Rachel lied their way out? I thought of facing them, seeing their fake, sad faces turn to shock. Would they hate me? Or worse, would they try to hurt me? I followed Jake to his car, my heart racing. We drove to my house one last time to get more proof. It was dark, and the house was quiet. Jake picked the lock and we snuck inside. My heart hurt, seeing my home, Rachel's ugly curtains, Lila's perfume everywhere, Tom's shoes by the door. We found more papers in a drawer with Carter's name and numbers. He whispered, "This is enough to stop them." I nodded, but my chest felt heavy. This was my house, my life, and they'd taken it. As we turned to leave, headlights flashed outside. A car pulled up, Mr. Carter's shiny black one. My heart stopped. He got out, looking angry, holding a phone. "I know you're here, Vanessa," he called, his voice mean. "You can't hide forever." My legs froze. Jake grabbed my hand, pulling me toward the back door, but we heard footsteps, more than one person. My breath caught. They were coming. They'd found me. And now, with Jake by my side, I had to decide: run and hide forever, or step into the light and fight for my life. Even if it broke my heart all over again. But before I could choose, the back door of my house had burst open and a dark figure stood there, holding something shiny that glinted in the moonlight. My heart pounded like a drum, so loud I thought it would give me away. Jake, the investigator who knew I was alive, grabbed my hand. His eyes wide with fear. Mr. Carter's voice echoed from the front, mean and cold. "Vanessa, you can't hide forever." My tummy twisted like a knot, and I felt like a tiny mouse, cornered by a cat. The papers in my bag, proof that Tom, Lila, and Rachel were stealing my money with that sneaky Mr. Carter, felt heavy, like they were pulling me down. Who was this figure at the door? Was it one of them? Mr. Carter? Or someone worse? I wanted to run, to disappear forever. But Jake whispered, "Stay calm, Vanessa. We'll get out." But how? We were trapped, and the figure was coming closer. The shadows stepped into the light, and my breath stopped. It was Lila, my best friend, wearing my favorite earrings, her eyes sharp like a fox's. She held a flashlight, not a knife, but her face scared me more than any weapon. "I knew it," she hissed, her voice low and mean. "You're not dead, are you?" My heart broke like a glass cup smashing on the floor. Lila, who I shared secrets with since we were little, looked at me like I was her enemy. Jake stepped in front of me, his voice strong. "Back off, Lila. She knows everything about you. Tom, Rachel, and Carter." Lila's eyes got wide, then small and sneaky. "You don't know anything?" she snapped, but her hands shook. She knew I had the papers. Knew I could ruin their plan. I wanted to cry, to yell. "Why, Lila? Why are you doing this?" My voice was gone, lost in a sea of hurt. Lila took a step closer, her flashlight shaking. "You should have stayed gone, Vanessa," she said. "This would have been easier." Easier. My chest ached like someone had punched it. My best friend wanted me gone for money? I felt like a toy nobody wanted anymore. Jake pulled me toward the kitchen, whispering, "We need to go now." But Mr. Carter's voice got louder, and I heard more footsteps, Tom and Rachel, their voices angry. "Find her," Rachel shouted. "She's going to ruin everything." My legs wobbled and Jake pushed me toward the back window. "Climb out," he said. "I'll hold them off. Hold them off." My eyes stung with tears. Jake was helping me, but I was so scared. I didn't want to leave him, but I couldn't face them either. I scrambled out the window, a bag heavy with papers, my heart heavier. With pain. I landed in the backyard, my sneakers slipping on the grass. Jake stayed inside, yelling at Leela to stay back. I heard a crash, like a lamp breaking, and my tummy flipped. Was Jake okay? I ran to the tree where I'd hidden before, my breath fast and shaky. I peeked back at the house, seeing shadows move inside. Lila was shouting, "She's getting away." My heart raced. They were coming for me. I sprinted to the street, my legs burning, my eyes blurry with tears. I thought of Mrs. Ellis, the neighbor who hired Jake, the only one who cared. Of my old life painting pictures, giggling with Lila, loving Tom, hugging Rachel. That life was a lie, burned up in my fake crash. Now, they were chasing me, not because they loved me, but because I could stop their greedy plan. I felt like a lost puppy, running from danger with nowhere safe to go. I made it to a dark alley, hiding behind a dumpster, my heart still racing. My hands shook as I pulled out Jake's notebook from my bag. His notes were full of proof dates, times, things Tom, Lila. And Rachel said to Mr. Carter, one note made my heart break again. Tom to Carter, 3 months ago, if Vanessa's gone, we get it all. 3 months ago, I was still making Tom's favorite dinners then, hoping he'd smile at me. Tears fell on the notebook, smudging the words. They'd planned this for so long. My husband, my best friend, my sister, they never wanted me. I heard footsteps nearby and froze. Was it them? I peeked out, my heart thumping. 'Twas Jake, limping. His jacket torn. "Vanessa," he whispered, looking around. "We have to move there close." My eyes widened. Jake was alive, but hurt. I ran to him, my bag bouncing. "Are you okay?" I asked, my voice small. He nodded, but his face was pale. "They're coming," he said. "Carter's dangerous. We need the police." We ran to his car, parked down the street. My heart raced as we got in, and Jake drove fast, the tires squealing. I clutched the papers, my only proof. "We'll go to the police station," Jake said. "Show them everything. They'll stop Carter and the others." My tummy twisted. What if the police didn't believe me? What if Tom, Lila, and Rachel lied their way out? I thought of facing them, seeing their fake, sad faces turn too. Shock? Maybe hate. My chest hurt like it was breaking all over again. We reached the police station, a big building with bright lights. My legs shook as we walked inside. Jake held my hand, his grip strong. "You're not alone," he said. "I'm with you." His words were like a warm blanket, but I was still scared. We told the police everything, my fake death, the papers, Mr. Carter, the lies. I showed them Jake's notebook and the stolen forms. The officer, a kind lady with glasses, listened, her face serious. "This is big," she said. "We'll bring them in." They let me stay in a small room, safe but cold. I sat there, my heart heavy, thinking of my old life. I thought of painting, of Leela's laughs, of Tom's hugs, of Rachel's smiles. Those were gone, replaced by greedy lies. But Mrs. Ellis cared. Jake cared. Maybe I wasn't invisible. Maybe I could start. Over hours later, the officer came back. "We got them," she said. "Tom, Lila, Rachel, and Carter. They're at the station now." My heart jumped. "What did they say?" I asked, my voice tiny. The officer sighed. "They're blaming each other. But your papers and Jake's notes, they're enough. They won't get your money." Relief washed over me like a cool breeze, but it didn't fix my broken heart. Jake drove me to Mrs. Ellis's house. She hugged me, her eyes teary. "I knew you weren't gone," she said. I cried, feeling seen for the first time in forever. But as I stood there, my bag full of papers, my heart full of hurt, I had to decide. Stay and rebuild my life. Face the people who betrayed me, or leave forever. Start fresh where nobody knew my name. I looked at Jake, at Mrs. Ellis, at the starry sky. My old life was gone, but maybe I could make a new one. The next day I went back to my house with Jake. The police had taken the ugly curtains down and my paintings were back on the walls. But it didn't feel like home. It felt like a place where I'd been invisible. I found one of my old letters in the drawer. One to Tom, full of love I didn't feel anymore. I tore it up, tears falling. I wasn't that Vanessa anymore. She was gone, not in a fake crash, but in the truth of their lies. I packed a small bag just like when I'd left before. But this time it wasn't to hide. Mrs. Ellis hugged me, saying, "You're stronger than you know." Jake gave me a new star keychain, shiny and bright. "For your new start," he said. I smiled. My first real smile in forever. I decided to leave, not to disappear, but to find a place where I could be me. A place to paint, to laugh, to live without shadows. As I got on a bus to a new town, my heart still hurt, but it felt lighter, like a bird learning to fly again. I looked out the window, the world zooming by. Tom, Lila, Rachel, and Carter were facing the police, their lies falling apart. I was free, not their kind of free, but my own. I'd been unseen, unloved, betrayed, but now I saw myself. I was Vanessa, and I was enough. Asterisk, kindly drop a comment for Vanessa.